a huge nest of twigs high above an icy cold Alaskan river, a bald eagle chick cracked open her egg. For 2 days, the baby eagle had scraped her beak against the side of the eggshell. Now she pushed hard with her head until the eggshell split open. She was out! A cold wind swept over the large eagle nest perched in a tall old tree. The eaglet was covered in only thin gray and white down. She shivered in the freezing air until her mother tucked the baby under her own warm body. Even before the eagle chick could see, she started taking bits of fish from her parents' beaks into her beak. Soon her wings became longer and stronger. In 1 month, she could see, stand on her own, and begin to tear food with her own beak. By 6 weeks, she was almost as big as her parents, and a wingspan was more than 6 feet. Wow! Bit by bit, her body became covered with the thousands of feathers that she would need to fly and keep warm. She used her beak to bring in her feathers each day. She cleaned and smoothed them, shifted them to stay warm or cool off, and waterproofed them with oil from the gland near her tail. By early summer, a young eagle watched while other eagles soared and swooped over the river. One day she was hopping and flapping around the nest when a sudden gust of wind lifted her into the air. For a moment, she was flying. All summer, she took longer and longer flights. In time, she learned to hunt fish from the river. But when winter came again, the river surface froze. Now the eagle had to search far from home to find food in open water that wasn't frozen. 2, 1. She flew thousands of miles, soaring over mountains and valleys, sitting in the farm, and always looking out for new sources of food. Older and stronger eagles sometimes chased or attacked her. If she flew through their territory, an older eagle would lock talons with her. The two birds would spin like a helicopter down through the sky until she let go and flew away. Once the eagle found a safer territory with plenty of prey, she became a powerful hunter. From high in the sky, she spotted a fish swimming in shallow water. Then she dove down, sped over the water with her feet, thrust out in front of her. She grabbed her prey by locking her sharp talons in place and carried off the fish she had caught. By the time she was 4 years old, the eagle's head and tail feathers had started to turn white. Her beak and eyes began to turn golden yellow. At last, she was ready for a long trip back to the river, which she had learned to fly. There she would find a mate. Together they would use their beaks to build and shape a nest of twigs where they would raise their own eaglets. When the eagle reached the river, she swooped down to catch a silvery salmon from the fast-moving water. The fish was so heavy she couldn't lift it. She clenched her talons tightly around it and swam to shore, using her wings like oars to row. The eagle was so hungry she ate every bit of fish, ripping off bite after bite of food with her sharp-hooked beak. Then she flew to a thick tree branch to rest and preen her feathers. Suddenly, a crash like thunder and lightning split the air. The eagle's face burned. Boom! She couldn't see. Her talons lost their grip, and the trees seemed to spin around her. She fell to the ground stunned. The sun was still high in the sky, but the eagle's world went dark. A bullet had shattered her beak. Her eye was torn, and her face was bleeding. It even hurt for her to breathe. The eagle lay on the ground for days, too weak to move. As time passed, she recovered enough to walk a short distance, but she could not fly or hunt. Now that she had no top beak, which she could preen her feathers or tear her food to eat. Her tongue was open in the air and dried out. She could barely scoop up water to drink. Each day the eagle grew weaker. She was starving. A policeman found her at a landfill trying to peck for food among the garbage. She wasn't strong enough to fight. He was able to wrap her in a blanket and take her to the wildlife center. There, people cleaned and bandaged her wounded face, and they gave her medicine to stop any infection. They named her Beauty. Beauty's injuries took many months to heal. but her beak didn't grow back. She couldn't eat or drink without human help. The wildlife center had no room to keep her any longer, and in the wild she would die. One day a visitor came, a raptor biologist named Janie. Janie's job was to help sick and injured birds of prey like eagles, owls, hawks, falcons, and ospreys. As soon as she saw Beauty, Janie knew she had to find a way to give the eagle a new beak. Janie took Beauty to a raptor center in Idaho. She and some volunteers built an outdoor aviary as big as a school bus. There, Beauty could live and take short flights. Yeah, he's over there. Janie traveled around teaching people about raptors. Blah, 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 blah. An engineer named Nate with his daughter came to hear Janie speak. When Janie shared her idea of making a prosthetic beak that would look like and move like Beauty's real beak, Nate said, "I think I can help you with Beauty." Nate had never worked with animals, but he and Janie both knew that bioengineers made a replacement body parts for humans. First, Janie got her own dentist's assistants, Carol and Corey, to make dental molds that show the exact shape of Beauty's broken beak. With a laser scanner, Nate took measurements from all those dental molds and from model of female bald eagle skull, putting all the measurements together. He used a computer code to design the new beak shape and how it would fit. Nate printed out the beak on the 3D printer. The printer made a beak from Nate's computer design, building layer upon layer of melted plastic that hardened into shape. Janie chose the golden yellow color for a prosthetic beak to make Beauty look as she did in the wild. After hundreds of hours of work and many tests to fit the beak perfectly, the big day came to attach it. Janie wrapped Beauty's arms to keep her from moving. For 3 hours, Janie never left Beauty's side. This time, Nate's own dentist, Ryan, had come to help attach the new beak. He and Janie put on a small metal rod into Beauty's upper beak. The rod would anchor the new beak in place. But just when they were ready to glue the beak on, Beauty started to struggle. Her wings were so strong she burst the wrap around them. She thrashed her wings, trying to fly away. "You're all right, big girl. We're here to help you," said Janie. She stroked Beauty's feathers to calm her. Beauty looked straight at Janie and quieted down. When Beauty was still, they tried to beak on again. Janie could see that Beauty's tongue wasn't moving right. Ryan had to use his dentist grinding tool to carve out more space inside of the beak. Finally, everything was ready. Ryan spread the dental glue on the broken edge of Beauty's top beak. Then he slid, click, the new beak onto the metal rod. Janie held the beak tightly in place until the glue dried. When she took her hands away, the 3D printed beak looked almost as real as Beauty's own beak. But would the new beak work? Janie knew Beauty was very thirsty after her hours of surgery. Janie unwrapped Beauty's wings and carried her back to the aviary, setting her on the drinking perch. Beauty didn't hesitate. For the first time she had been shocked, she leaned down, scooped up a full beak of water, threw back her head and swallowed, just like an eagle in the wild.